Well, fast-tracking the next generation of innovators, Pakistan is experiencing a massive STEM revolution as high school students dive into high-tech miniature formula-style racing. From 3D printing to aerodynamics, these young minds are building the future of motorsports right here at home in Pakistan. So joining us now to discuss this incredible initiative is Muhammad Ali Mustafa. Muhammad, so lovely to have you, and really exciting. It's not something that I actually knew about before doing some research about this competition. Everyone knows about Formula One, obviously, but they don't necessarily know as much about this. Let's hear from you a little bit more. Do we call this a sport or what is it?
It's a kind of a STEM racing, you could call it.
Okay.
So first of all, a huge thank you for having me today. And so basically, this is a competition in which we design and race miniature F1 style cars. And we like build them, manufacture them, all these things, and then race them finally. But not only that, we also, have to manage sponsorships beside them. Okay, manage our marketing, manage the whole project management, all those aspects. So it's a competition that combines, engineering with all those enterprise experiences. So it's a really fun competition and a different one that we usually don't see.
Yeah.
And it was a huge experience for us representing Pakistan on such an international stage. Because usually we don't see Pakistan on these stages, we are lacking in these places, but now with these competitions, we are coming on the spotlight. So it is a huge experience for us.
That's why we've got you on the spotlight interview today, is to do more of that, to understand, how young minds, young great minds are sort of carving the way for Pakistan, being on more international stages. I can see there on the top of the car it says Zenith, which is the name of your team.
Yes, that is my team name.
So how did you get into it and how did you join this team?
So from a very early age, I already had an interest about, getting involved in some sort of Formula One stuff, but there wasn't like any opportunity. But as soon as I saw this online, that there's this competition, in which we're designing miniature F1 style cars, I was hooked. So we started in like August last year. From that point on, I formed a team with my teammates, and then we just started working on these countless nights, working. So this is our like a 8-month project of ours.
Wow. What goes into making it? Let's have a look at it. This is, I guess, a prototype. It won't be the one that you actually race. What is it made out of?
The body is made out of hard foam.
Hard foam,
and the wings are 3D printed. And the process of making it is like, first we make it in our technical softwares, and then we test it in real world conditions. How does it perform? Is the design even good? Like, sometimes the design looks good on paper, but it doesn't really perform that well. We test all these factors, and then finally we go on to manufacturing, where we use very advanced machines, CNC machining, to carve out these shapes, these technical geometries, and then finally we raise these on the track.
So this is a similar size, or this is the size that is used on the track.
Yeah.
And where do you go, like if you think sort of 10 years down the line, do you imagine yourself sort of in the pit designing the actual F1 cars? Is this kind of a stepping stone towards that?
Yes, actually this is the competition is by the Formula One group, and they are scouting for talent like us, our young minds, which they can already take into account at a early time, so that when we grow up, when we have the technical experience, they can take us in. And we already have the experience, we're learning all the fundamentals of a Formula One car, so that gives us an edge. Yes.
100%. And starting so young in doing this, it gives you sort of years and years to perfect it, which is what you need when it comes to Formula One, because it is such a sport of perfection. What are sort of some of the challenges that you faced when you were doing this competition, or these competitions rather? We'll speak about the competition in Abu Dhabi afterwards, but what are some of the difficulties that you might face?
So one of the main difficulties is the financial aspect, because there's a huge cost factor involved with these competitions. It's an international competition. There's the cost of traveling, manufacturing, all these things. And companies weren't really like open to the idea right now, because this is the first time they're seeing these types of competitions coming up. They weren't used to the idea that like such young minds are creating these projects. So there was some hesitation in sponsoring us, but I believe now that these competitions are on the rise, the companies are also taking interest. They are sponsoring teams. So this was one of the issue we faced. Other than that, there was also some resistance from our colleges, like are these competitions, we should focus on our academics.
Right.
But when we showed them what the skills we are learning, how good the experiences are, and they will help us in the real life.
Yeah.
So they really appreciated, and these competitions they are taking interest now.
Also, for sort of networking, we all know that, if you want to get internships, which often lead to jobs, you need to often know people to give you that edge, because there's so many people that probably want to work for Formula One. So getting exposure, I imagine that you met people from F1, you met people that have been doing these competitions beforehand. Do you feel like you were able to kind of network with people and hear their stories, which might help you decide what yours is going to be?
Absolutely. I connected with tons of people, whether that's, connecting with companies, and then also, people who participated previously, who are working in the real F1 teams, getting to hear from them, like what do they think about these competitions, and them also giving us advice that we should keep doing this. This is a really, a good forward step. So yes, I connected with a lot of people.
That's great. Yeah. So you were in Abu Dhabi for the most recent competition on the 28th of June. How often do these competitions happen? What do they look like? Do people get nervous? Sort of set the scene for me.
So these competitions happen annually, and there are like 1,000 to 2,000 participants in the venue. And teams from all over the Middle Eastern region, the South Asian region, the Europe, they come to compete in Abu Dhabi. There are like 130 teams who have to qualify for this competition. And the scene is like we're all racing down a track. There's adrenaline, there's nervousness. We have to react quickly to things. Things break a lot, all these things.
Yeah. No, I'm just looking at you all up there. I'm guessing that's in Abu Dhabi.
Yes.
Behind the scenes. It's nice to see a good mix of girls and boys taking part. When you think about racing, that's often one of the criticisms of it, is that it is quite a male-dominated sport, but not when it comes to miniature racing by the looks of it.
Yes, so this was one of the points that we got when we opened up. When I was looking for teammates, I actually got more sign-up from girls than males. So that was a sign that girls are taking a lot of interest in these things. And even if you look at F1, a lot of girls are taking a lot of interest in that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's good to see, isn't it? What's the when you were there? Where did you rank? Where did your team rank?
So globally, we ranked on the 14th position.
Okay, that's fantastic.
Yes.
But I imagine that the aim is to get to top 5, top 3.
Yes.
What do you think you need to do as a team or for Pakistan in order to be able to get to that level where you're competing a bit more competitively, perhaps?
So the main issue we faced was that there aren't really these STEM competitions, so we're lacking in a bit of knowledge. This was the first time for us. When we look at international students, it's not their first time. They have already participated in such competitions, so they're calm, they're collected. Okay, when we look at us Pakistani students, this was our first time, so we were like a bit nervous. We didn't have that much knowledge, but now that we are participating, we are completely involved in this. I think that barrier has been overcome.
Yeah.
And when students like us will participate next, we think we can aim for that win, for that top 3 podium. I think that's possible.
And what's the long-term dream for you?
For me personally, would be reaching Formula One.
Wow.
Working with those engineers, all those things.
Yeah. Well, you're starting in the right place. You're starting, networking. You're starting young. So. I wish you and Team Zenith the best of luck. And thank you for coming in. I feel like I've learned a lot today.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure being.
There we are. Well, how exciting is that? Muhammad Ali Mustafa talking to us about the STEM revolution that's happening here in Pakistan as a team have just come back from Abu Dhabi competing in miniature Formula One racing. Right, that's all for today. Thank you for watching. I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye for now.